Good day, guys. This is Mr. Prince, Maths and Science tutorial session. This is tutorial session 8. This session is meant for students from grade 10 to 12. And if anybody joins the live stream, you can put your question in the chat box. Okay. And I'm going to be starting very soon. I just want to wait for more people to join the live stream. Okay. I'm going to share my whiteboard soon. I want to share my whiteboard so that I can start the topic. Okay, let me share my whiteboard. So this is February 18, 2026 tutorial session. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick a topic. I'm gonna do trigonometry today. I believe that trigonometry belongs to the syllabus for grade 10 students. So I'm going to talk about trigonometry. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to draw a right angle triangle like this. So we know that the side facing the right angle, 90 degrees, is the hypotenuse, which is always the longest side. The side facing this angle is opposite, and then we have adjacent, right? And in trigonometry, we have something we call SOHCAHTOA. So S stands for sine theta, and O is opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, and we have cos theta is equals to adjacent over hypotenuse. Also, we have tan theta is equals to opposite over adjacent. Okay, so this is the basic three ones you need to know in trigonometry. So we are going to be given different angles, and for us to be able to know the cosine tan, we'll be punching it in the calculator to be able to get the angles. So I don't have my calculator here. I'm just going to quickly grab my calculator, and I'll be back in 30 seconds. Okay, but before I continue, I just want to share something. Okay, let me share my whiteboard back. Okay, so I already said that we're talking about trigonometry. If you're on the live stream, you're just joining the live stream, you can just put your question in the chat box. So I'm going to start with something. So let's say this is 45 degrees, and we are given one side to be 10, and we have to find x. Okay, so in this case, we are given the opposite. We have to find the hypotenuse, and we are given an angle. So what's the trigonometric term that correlates these three together is sine theta. So we have sine theta is equal to opposite is 10, and the hypotenuse is x. Okay, and theta is 45 degree in this case. So we have sine 45 is equals to 10 over x. So let's cross multiply. So x sine 45 is equals to 10. Okay, so the x is equals to 10 divided by sine 45. And sine 45, I believe sine 45 is root 2 over 2. So that's 10 divided by 0.7071. Okay, so 10 divided by 0.7071 gives us 14.14. Okay, so let's try another one. Number 2, we're given, sorry, something like this, where this place is 50 degrees. Okay, this place is 8 meters, and this place is y. So in this case, we are given the hypotenuse. We are asked to find the adjacent. Okay, and we are given an angle of 50 degrees. So hypotenuse and adjacent, the term that it can be used that connects those two is cos. So that's cos theta is equals to adjacent over hypotenuse, right? So that because 50 degrees is equals to y over 8. Okay, so now let's cross multiply. So y is equals to 8 cos 50. So we do 8 times cos 50. We should get 5.14. So let's say this angle is 60 degrees. Okay, and we're given this place to be 7 meters, and this other side is 5 meters. So in this case, sorry, let's say this place is x. This is what we have to find. Sorry. So the opposite is 7 meters and the adjacent is x. So in this case, we're given opposite and adjacent. The trigonometry term that combines these two is tan theta. So tan theta is equals to opposite over adjacent. Okay, so we have tan 60 degrees is equals to 7 over x. So x is equals to 7. When you cross multiply, s is equals to, sorry, we have, let me write it like this, not to confuse some people. X tan 60 degrees is equals to 7 meters. Okay, so x will be equals to 7 divided by tan 60 degrees. Okay, so we use x divided by tan 60. What do we get? So we get 4.04 meters. Okay, so that's it for that question. So now I want to try to do some that we have to find the angles. So in this case, we have a right angle triangle like this. This place is theta. This place is 5. No, 7. And this place is 5. So this side is the hypotenuse. So we are given that the hypotenuse is 7. And we are given that the opposite is 5. So in that case, we're using sine theta. So sine theta is equals to the opposite divided by hypotenuse. Okay. So 5 divided by 7, let's find out. So that's 0.714142. So theta is equals to arc sine 0.7142. Okay. So theta is equals to 45 0.6 degrees. Okay. So let's do another one. So we have this side to be 8, we have this side to be 14. So in this case, we are given the opposite and the adjacent. So we are going to use tan theta because tan theta is the trigonometric term that connects those two sides. 8/14. So now let's divide 8/14 now. Let me put that in the calculator. So that's 0.5714. Okay. So theta is equals to arctan 0.5714. So theta is equals to 29.74 degrees. So let me do another one. Okay. So in this case, we're given the hypotenuse and we're given the adjacent. So in this case, we're going to use cos theta, cos alpha now. So cos alpha is equals to 8/12. Okay. So 8 divided by 12, we use 4. This is 2, this is 3. So 2 divided by 3, so that will be 0.6667. So that will be alpha is equal to arc cos 0.6667. So we have 48.19. 48.19. So I'm going to do some exercises on like more like word problems on trigonometry. Okay, I was able to get some exercises on trigonometry. Okay. So the first question says a sliding run is 300 yards. Sliding run is 300 yards long with a vertical drop of 27.6 yards. They find the angle of depression of the run. So I'm going to talk about, before I solve this question, I'm going to be talking about angle of elevation and angle of depression. So let's assume this is the line of sight, parallel line of sight. Okay. So we'll call this angle of elevation, and we'll call this angle of depression. So it's a sledding run is 300 yards long. Okay. So the sled is always like slopey. So let's say that this is the sledding run, 300 yards long with a vertical drop of 27.6 yards. So if it's vertical drop, it has to be this one. Sorry, it has to be like this, 27.6 yards. Okay. So in this case, this is the angle of depression, theta. So if we are to find the angle of depression, we will say that this is the hypotenuse. So we are given hypotenuse and opposite. So now in this case we're going to use sine. So theta, sorry, I don't know what's going on with my. So that will be sine theta is equals to opposite, which is 27.6 divided by 300. So if we do 27.6 divided by 300, 27.6 divided by 300. So that will be 0.092. So that's sine theta is equals to 0.092. So now we're going to look for the arc sine of 0.092. If we look for the arc sine of 0.092, let me punch that in the calculator. So shift sine 0.092. So that will be 5.28 degrees. Okay, that will be the angle of depression. So I want to do another question. So another question says that a doctor is using a treadmill to assess the strength of a patient's heart. heart of the patient heart is set the 48-inch long treadmill at an incline of 10 degrees. How high is the end of the treadmill raised? Okay. Says the doctor is using the treadmill to assess the strength of the patient. So this is the treadmill. Okay. This is the treadmill. The treadmill is always a bit slopey. So this is the 48-inch long treadmill. So it was set at an incline. This is the angle that it was set. Okay. Of 10 degrees. So how high is the end of the treadmill raised? So now we're looking for this part. Okay. So we have 10 degrees, we have 48 inch. So now we are given the hypotenuse, which is 48 inches. So we say that sine 10 degrees is equal to opposite of hypotenuse, that's x over 48. Okay, so that will be x is equal to 10 sine 48. 10 sine 48. So if we do 10 sine 48, we'll put 10 sine 48 in the calculator. 10 sine 48, that will be equals to 7.43. So this is how high the end of the treadmill is raised. I want to go back to the live stream. Let me see if there are more people on the live stream. Okay, so I'll go back. Let me go back to my whiteboard. So I'm going to do another question, number 3. In number 3, we'll say find the angle of elevation of the sun when a 12.5 meter tall telephone casts an 18-meter long shadow. An 18-meter long shadow. Okay. Find the angle of the elevation of the sun. Okay. So this is the telephone. Let's assume that this is the telephone here. .5 meters. Okay. It cast an 18-meter long shadow. So the shadow will cast on the floor. Okay. 18 meters. So now it says that we should find the angle of elevation of the sun. So let me draw it this way. Like I said, an angle of elevation, the person is looking up. Okay. So the person is looking up. This is the height of the telephone, which is 12.5 meters. And the shadow that it casts is 18 meters. It casts the shadow on the floor. Okay. So now I said I have to find the angle. So this angle we're going to look for theta. So if we have to find theta, we know that we are given opposite and the hypotenuse. No, we're not giving the hypotenuse in this case. We're giving the opposite and the adjacent. Okay. So we can say that tan theta is equals to 12.5 meters divided by 18 meters. Okay, so now let's do 12.5 divided by 18. 12.5 divided by 18. So that will be equals to 0.6944. So theta is equals to arctan 0.6944. Okay. Yeah. 0.6944. So that will be 34.78 degrees. So that's the answer for that one. Now I'm going to try out another question. So the next question is number 4. It says a person in a hot air balloon. A person in a hot air balloon. Sorry. A person in a hot air balloon is looking down with an angle of depression. Is looking down with an angle of depression of 36 degrees at their car 75 feet away. Straight line distance. So now it says, how high is the balloon? How high is the balloon? Okay. So it's a person in a hot air balloon is looking down with an angle of depression of 36 degrees at their car 75 feet away. Well, how high is the balloon? So this is the hot air balloon, right? This is the hot air balloon. This is the line of sight. The angle of depression looking down. This is the angle of depression. Okay. It's 36 degrees. So the hot air balloon is up and the car is down. The car is probably down. Okay. I say the car is 75 feet away. 75 feet away. It says, how high is the balloon? How high is the balloon? This is what we're looking for. H. It says the car is 75 feet away. Mm. So let's say that this is 75 feet away. Okay. So in this case, we are given the opposite, and we're given the hypotenuse. No, we are asked to find the opposite side, and we're given the hypotenuse. So that means we're going to use sine 36 degrees is equals to opposite is h over 75. So h is equals to 75 sine 36. Okay. We will do 75 sine 36. 75 sine 36 will give us 44.08. So the height is 44.08. 44.08 meters. Okay. So I'm going to do another question. That's how high the balloon is. Sorry, my voice is kind of low. I'm just a little bit tired. So I'll do another one. Number 5. So number 5 says a ladder, a ladder leaning against a building makes an angle of 78 degrees with the ground. Okay. The foot of the ladder is 5 feet. Is 5 feet from the building. How long is the ladder? How long is the ladder? It says that a ladder leaning against a building makes an angle of 78 degrees with the ground. The foot of the ladder is 5 feet from the building. How long is the ladder? Clearly. Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma. So now I'm good. Now let's make this building. This is the building, for example. Okay. And this is the ladder. The ladder is resting on the building. This is the ladder leaning against the building. And this is the foot of the ladder. So the distance of the foot of the ladder from the building is 5 feet. So this place is 5 feet. Okay. Because this is the foot of the ladder and the distance between it and the building is 5 feet. And it says it makes an angle of 78 degrees with the ground. The ladder leaning against the building makes an angle of 78 degrees with the ground. So this says it's 78 degrees. Okay. So now it says the foot of the ladder is 5 from the building. Say how long is the ladder? So we're looking for this place L. Okay. So now in this case, we're giving the hypotenuse and the adjacent. So we're giving the hypotenuse and the adjacent. We're going to use tan. Hypotenuse and adjacent. We're using cos, sorry. So that will be cos 78 degrees is equals to adjacent over hypotenuse. So the adjacent is 5 and the hypotenuse is L. Okay. So 5 is equals to L cos 78 degrees. So for us to get L, that will be 5 divided by cos 78. Okay. So now let's do 5 divided by cos 78. So that will give us 24.04. So this is how long the ladder is. The ladder is 24.04 feet long. Okay. So another question I want to try again is a golfer. This question says, I'm going to try to write my question as feasible as possible. Sorry. So this question says a golfer is standing at the tree. The golfer is standing at the tree, looking up to the green on a hill. To the green on a hill. If the tee is 36 yards lower than the green, and the angle of elevation from the tree to the hole is 12 degrees. Find from the tee, not the tree, sorry. Find the distance from the tee to the hole. Okay, so it says a golfer is standing at the tree. Okay, so let's say that this is the tree. Okay, this is the tree. And it says a golfer is standing looking to the green on a hill. Looking looking up to the green on a hill. Okay. So let me draw the tree by the left hand side so that I can have more space to draw. So this is the tree. Okay, this is the tree. And it says let's say the tree is taller than the golfer. Because a golfer is standing at the tree. This is the golfer here. Okay. And it's looking up to the green on a hill. So let's say this is the hill here. And let's say this is the green. So you say if the tree is 36 yards lower than the green. Okay. So now this is the tree. The tree is the hill the green on the hill is higher than the tree. So let's say that this is the distance, 36 yards. Okay. So this place is 36 yards lower than the green, and the angle of elevation from the tree to the hole is 12. So in this case, the angle of elevation is looking up. Okay. So if this is the line of sight. Okay. And this is this part. So this is angle of elevation, right? So if we do it like this place will be the angle of elevation theta. Okay. So now let's do it like this. Let's draw it like this so that we'll make it much easier to comprehend. Okay. So this place now, because by this place, this angle will be equal to this angle. This is what we call alternate angles. Okay. Alternate angles. So this will be theta. And this place will be 36 yards. So this is 36 yards. And this is find the sorry, this place is 12 degrees, not theta. This place is 12. Okay. Lower than the green. And then you find the distance from the T to the O. Find the distance from the T to the O. So it is going to be this one, X. So this is what we are looking for. Okay. So we are given the side opposite and the hypotenuse. So we have it that it will be sine 12 degrees. Sine 12 degrees is equal to opposite. That will be 36 over X. Okay. So when we cross multiply, so 36 is equals to X sine 12. So X is equals to 36 divided by sine 12 degrees. Okay. So we do, sorry. If we do 36 divided by sine 12, we'll get 173.15. Let's call it meters, yards. Okay. So that will be the distance from the T to the O. So I'm coming. Let me check the comment section if there's anything on the comment section. Let me stop sharing for now. Okay. So I'll go back. I'll share my screen. I'll share my screen back, entire screen. Okay. So I can see it on the live stream. Let me share my whiteboard. Sorry. I don't know what's going on with this. Let me share my whiteboard back. Yeah, I believe we can see whiteboard. So I'm going to do like two more questions before I end this live stream. I'm going to do like two more questions before I end the live stream. So in this case, we have that a person. Another question. Let me see, what number is this? This question 6. Now let's do number 7. Number 7 says that a person is sitting on a 30-foot pier overlooking the ocean. His eye level is 3 feet above the pier. Okay. So he sees a whale. He sees a whale surface in the ocean. So if the angle of depression of the whale is 20 degrees, how far is the whale from his eyes? How far is it from his eyes? Okay. It says a person is sitting on a 30-foot pier overlooking the ocean, and says his eye level is 3 feet above the pier. He sees a whale surface in the ocean. If the angle of depression of the whale is 20 degrees, how far is the whale from his eyes? Okay. So let's say that this is the 30-foot pier. Let's say this is what the pier look like. Okay. And this is 30 feet. Okay. And it says that a person sitting on a 30-foot pier is it says if the angle of depression. So if the person is looking, this is line of sight. Okay, this line of sight. If the person is looking down like this angle is 20 degrees. That's the angle of depression. So because this is an alternate angle, okay, or we can, so this place will be also equals to 20 degrees. So this will be the angle here. So 20 degrees. Okay. So now it now says how far is the whale from his eyes. So let's say this is the whale here. Sorry, let me draw it very properly. So this is 20 degrees, okay? So this is the how far is the way from his side? This place is X. So this is the part we are looking for, X. So now let's draw it out properly so that we can see it. This is 20 degrees. This is the 30-foot pier, and this is where we're going to find the distance between the whale from his eyes. So we have the hypotenuse and we have opposite. So that will be sine 20 degrees is equals to opposite is 20, hypotenuse is x. Okay, so that will be x sine 20 degrees is equals to 30. So x is equals to 30 divided by sine 20 degree. Okay, so now let's do 30 divided by sine 20. 30 divided by sine 20. 7 87.1.71. So that's 87.71 meters. Okay. So I will try to do one more question. Let me do one more question. So this one is question 7. Let me do question 8. So question 8 says that after flying at an altitude of 500 meters, an helicopter starts to descend. The helicopter starts to descend when its ground distance from the landing pad is 11 kilometers. What is the angle of depression? What is the angle of depression for this part of the flight? What is the angle of depression for this part of the flight? So is it after flying at an altitude of 500 meters? This is the altitude, 500 meters. Okay. The helicopter now is descending, start to descend when its ground distance from the landing pad is 11 kilometers. So you say the altitude is flying is 100 meters, 500 meters, sorry. So this is the helicopter. I hope my helicopter, the way I drew my helicopter look okay. Okay. So it says that from this place, when it's ground down from the landing pad is 11 kilometers. So this place to this place is 11 kilometers. Okay. And it says that what is the angle of depression? So let's say that this is the line of sight. Okay. This is the angle of depression. So if we do it like this, it will be this. This will be, sorry, this is not where it's supposed to be. This is the angle of depression. So this is to be this angle. That's alternate angles. Two alternate angles that are like that form like a letter Z will be equals to each other. So I'm still going to talk about angles in one of my other videos I'm going to upload on YouTube. Okay. So and it says that we are looking for the angle that is theta. So let's put everything in kilometers. So 500 meters, 1000 meters is equals to 1 kilometers. So we have 500 meters is equals to how many kilometers? So x, so let's cross multiply. So x kilometers is equals to 500 meters times 1 kilometer over 1000 meters. So meter will cancel. So that will be 0.5. Okay. S is equals to 0.5 kilometers. So this will be 0.5 kilometers. Okay. So if you want to find the theta now, so we have opposite, and adjacent. So that will be tan theta is equals to the opposite is 0.5 divided by 11. So tan theta is equals to 0.5 divided by 11 will give us 0.04545. So theta is equals to arctan 0.04545. So if we find the arctan, so in this place we get that theta is equals to 2.6 degrees. So consider the angle of deflection for this part of flight is 2.6 degrees. So this will be the end of the live stream. I hope you guys were able to learn one or two things from the live stream. So I'm going to do more live streams on next week, Monday and Tuesday. And I hope you guys really enjoy this session. I didn't get anybody dropping any question on the chat box. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Peace out.